Hello, and welcome to Tash Talks live show. Hello, and welcome to Tash Talks, the live show. I'm really excited. Doing things a little bit differently this morning, coming live over here on my Facebook page, and of course, streaming over to the Soulful Badass Facebook group too. And we're also going to be going live on the IG. So there's lots happening this morning, which I'm here for. I am here for. Say hello in the chat box when you jump on live. I'd love to see who's coming on. Of course, if you're watching this on the replay, put hashtag replay so I can see everybody that is on. So let me just make sure that's all good to go. Perfect. Okay, good. Right, so I'm just going to click, make sure this is good to go. Yes. Okay, so in today's live, we are going to be talking about the signs that you need to be working on your subconscious mind. And I am beyond excited to dive into this. So without further ado, let's go live. Let's freaking do it. Hello, we're going to be diving into the subconscious mind today, and we're really going to be talking about the signs, the glaringly obvious signs that are not so obvious of you need to be doing that work on your subconscious mind. Now, I want to start by saying the most obvious sign is this. Number one, if you are feeling that you have big dreams in your business, if you have that knowingness inside of you, like, I know that I should be already at 6 figures. I know that I should be already at multi 6, 7 or 7 figures, whatever they be. And you have that knowingness in your side and you're like, but I feel like there's something there. Do you ever get that feeling where you're like, I just feel like there's something there that's kind of stopping me from being able to unlock that next level of my business? Whether that's you want to unlock the 10K months, the 20K, the 30K, whatever that is. Maybe it's going from one-on-one to your one-to-many. Maybe it's setting out your launch for your group program, your membership, your course. Maybe it's getting your podcast in the top 10. Whatever it may be, if you have that knowingness inside, you're like, I know, Tash, that I'm meant for massive, big things. I'm not here to play small. I didn't start my business just to be doing what I'm doing now. However incredible it is what you're doing right now, you knew deep down in your soul that you were meant to be that leader. You were meant to be that go-to expert. You were meant to be the one in that industry where people go, you need this? Hit up Julie. You need this? Get to Shannon. You need this? Head up Sarah. You need that? Go to Tash. Like, you knew you were meant to be doing for that. And I see so many of my clients when they first come to work with me go through these signs. And as humans, we are built to do. That's what we're built to do. So when there becomes a problem, guess what? Our mind goes into action. So I just want to, before I start going into these signs, I really want to make sure I make this clear that you're not doing anything wrong, okay? You're not consciously going, I'm just going to ignore this limiting belief. I'm just going to ignore this and I'm just going to keep doing what isn't working. And like, you're not doing that. Your subconscious mind is built to keep you safe. So guess what? How it does, it keeps you safe is does the familiar. It keeps you in the familiar because that's the subconscious mind is like, that's your safety blanket. It's back here and it's like, I'm jamming, I'm feeling good. Where unfortunately, or fortunately, the other side of your comfort zone is where the subconscious work is really being able to shift that in order for you to then create the next level of success in your business. So let's start with this. If you want to be selling out your launches, signing clients consistently, banking those high cash consistent months, then you need to be working on the 95%. Right now, I can guarantee that you are working on the 5% and you are doing that incredibly. You are doing that incredibly. But the problem is, in order for you to create the results of what you want, the results are in the 95% of the work. It's kind of like saying this, Tash, I really want to have this type of body when I go on holiday in the summer. And I'm like, okay, cool, what are you doing? You're like, well, my diet's kind of good. I'm like, okay, well, what are you eating the majority of the time? Well, I do like some chips and I do like the odd McDonald's and we do have Domino's on a Friday because it's like date night. And okay, so how often are you going to the gym? No, I every morning I get up and I'm like, I am going to the gym. And I look myself in the mirror and I'm like, I'm going to the gym, I'm going to the gym. Yeah, but how many times are you actually like going to the gym? Probably once, maybe twice. Now, the things start to click in my head. I'm like, tick, 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 tick. I'm starting to get the picture now of why you are not at that said goal. And it's because you're only doing 5% of it. So what I want to introduce you to is the 95%, and this is your subconscious mind. So everything that you are taking action in is happening in your 95%. But what's happening, it's being operated from a place of your belief system, which is in your subconscious. So like how I mentioned that you're not consciously going, I'm going to think this negative thought. I'm going to have this belief system because I know it's not going to help me. Like, no. But so we need to work on it, because sometimes the subconscious mind can be very sneaky and very secretive. So sometimes we're not even sure what actually is going on, but we know there's a sign there. And that's what we want to look at. And it's something I like to work on with my clients, which is about digging up the roots. There is no point saying to me, Tash, I really want to be the most incredible rose flower there is in the world. And I'm like, oh my God, I believe you. Like when you say it to me, I'm like, yeah. Problem is, you haven't worked on those roots, and those roots are of weeds. So as you're watering in it, as you're getting it sunlight, as you're positively talking affirmations to this plant, thinking and hoping it's going to turn into this beautiful rose bush, it's going to grow into weeds. Why? Because that is what you've sowed. It doesn't matter the water, the rain, the sunshine. It doesn't matter about that, because the seeds that have been sown haven't been ripped up. And that's what we want to do. We want to rip up those seeds of the weeds. So in order for us to actually take them away, so we can plant the beautiful seeds of a rose bush, do the speaking positively to it, do the working on the environment of it, giving it good sunlight, giving it the water and the fuel it needs. So of course it's going to turn into the most incredible, beautiful rose bush. But nothing will happen unless we actually dig up those roots. Those roots are your core beliefs. Those roots are your subconscious beliefs that you are operating from every single day. And these have come from many years ago, from the ages of 0 to 7. See it as you were a sponge. And everything you heard, everything you saw, your mind imprinted it into beliefs, and it became your belief blueprint. So everything you are thinking and feeling right now, whether it be about money, whether it be about success, whether it be filling out your launch, your program, all of this has come from those beliefs. So could you imagine, I'm sitting here right now and I've got the newest Apple Mac in front of me. But could you imagine if we went back in the day, when I was at school, we had the big, massive, like yellowy screens. They were so big and bulky. And then you had the huge, literally came up to here, didn't it? And that was where you put the disc into it. Imagine if I was trying to do AI on that type of computer. Imagine if I was trying to design the most incredible, beautiful designs, touching my Mac, thinking it was my Mac, and really I'm working on that old computer that's in school. It isn't going to work. It needs new programming. I mean, even now I've got a software update. I mean, it's a brand new computer. And it's saying 2 updates need to be done on your Mac, right? It's constantly needing to be rewired. Same as your Mac is, same as your brain. And you cannot, and I bet this to anyone that tries to come up against this and go, no, you can. You cannot out-hustle, out-strategize, or outwork your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind will always win. And that's why we need to do this work on it, okay? Because what you are seeing in your physical realm right now is a mirror for the work that's been going on in your internal mind. And that's why it's so important that we need to work on it. So the strategy that you're doing, the journaling, the waking up at 5 a.m., however incredible these things are, they're just surface level work. They will only get you so far. And that's probably why sometimes you might feel a little bit frustrated, or you're looking at other people hitting the high cash months and you're like, why is she making it look so easy? And it's because she's worked in her subconscious mind. The belief system that she has completely backs the support that she wants to get. And that's the work I want to do with you. So let's dive straight into it. One of the signs that you need to work on that shows you that you need to work on your subconscious mind is this. You are doing all the strategy. You have invested in the business coaches and the programs, and you're taking daily action. You're doing all the things. Your to-do list, you're like, tick, 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 tick. Yeah, I posted, I recorded my podcast. Brilliant. I spoke to that person about collaboration. Like, it's all the do. You're like, tick, 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 tick. Yet you get to the end of the day and you're like, have I even moved the needle in my business today? Has the actions that I've taken created more revenue in my business? And the majority of the time it's a no, because what we do is we kind of get busy for being busy. It's a really nice sense of satisfaction, isn't it? When you get through your to-do list and you're like, I've done it, amazing, great. Yeah, but did it move the needle on the business? Did you sign in new clients? Like, has that increased your revenue, your bottom line? Like, has this increased your impact, the amount of clients you've got? Majority of the time, no. So that's one big sign. Another one is you're seeing lots of examples of other people achieving the things that you want to be achieving, but you look at it and you see it as, instead of she's achieved it means I can, you're looking at it going, I'm going to be that one person. I'm the anomaly. I'm going to be that one person that puts all the work in and doesn't reap the benefits. I'm going to be that one person that does everything you should do, does the strategy, invests into mindset, does the work, yet I don't get to multi 6 or 7 figures. I'm going to be that one person. And this, don't forget, this is subconscious. So it's not like you may be saying this consciously and maybe saying it out loud to yourself, but the majority of the time you're not, and it's kind of playing. So every time you're posting that piece of content, you're about to go live, it's playing kind of in the background, and it's having that kind of niggle. Rather than seeing that person as an example of, wow, if they've achieved it, so can I. And this is what's really important, why I'm always invested in being in circles of mentors and coaches that are achieving the big, huge things. So it makes it so possible for me. So I'm not sitting there thinking, she's achieved 100K a month because of this. Instead, I'm like, what she can do, I can do. She's showing me, she's paving the way. Like, this is the light, right? So you can look at it from that. So if this is a sign where you're looking at it going, I'm the one person and this is evidence of how it's not going to work for me, this is a sign you need to work on your subconscious mind. Another one, you believe you have to work really hard in order to deserve or feel worthy of high cash months. Like, boy, this has come up so much from my clients. They're like, but Tash, I don't have the time, nor do I want to sacrifice date nights or sacrifice time with my son or my daughters in order for me to have success. Like, I don't want it to be one or the other. And I'm like, it doesn't have to be. And I remember I used to be in that camp. I used to think I had to sacrifice girls, the amount of girls' nights I didn't go to, the amount of, when I was dating, the amount of dates I wouldn't go on. When I was in a relationship, the amount of times I go, I couldn't do this, couldn't do that, I've got to work. I'd get up at 4 a.m. I'd go to bed at silly o'clock. I'd get up in the middle of the night thinking if I'd done just that one more meditation or I journaled for an extra hour, that would be in order for me to create the results that I want to do, right? I didn't feel deserving of the money that I wanted to make. She could make that money because she's so pretty and she's stunning and she's really articulate and she's so smart and she's got every qualification and education behind her. And every time I was just like batting myself down, rather than really what it was is I just hadn't done the work on myself to feel deserving or worthy in myself. So no matter what the success or the money was, I could actually feel like a badass just because I am. So if that is a sign where you are believing that you've got to work harder, just one more hour, I've just got to have one more day, if I just had X amount of more time, I'd be able to achieve X result, then this shows that you need to work on your subconscious mind. Because I mean, I could riff on this just on literally on this live, but just on the fact that hard work does not equal good cash months. It doesn't. Been there, done there. I literally wore hustler as a badge of honor. Like, hustle was my freaking middle name, okay? So that wasn't getting me high cash months. I remember my modeling agency, I was working all the hours God sends and I was basically in debt from doing this business. So it wasn't making me money. You know, we think about so many people that work so hard, yet they're not at the level they want. And then you see these other people that are like, well, you know, I work 3 days a week. Like, I work less now, you know, from having my son. I work 3 days a week. And I really, imagine if I hadn't worked on my belief around I've got to work hard. I thought that I would have had to work 7 days a week and sacrifice the time of my son and not see my husband in order to have a successful business. And it's BS. So if you're having this belief, you need to work on your subconscious mind. It's the only way it's going to shift it. Otherwise, you're going to keep hustling. You're going to keep going. And guess what? That's the only way it goes, is burnt out. And then you're going to hate your business. And then you're going to want to give up. And then it's like, we're going to miss this gift that you have got just because you thought you had to hustle harder in order for you to get the results. BS is what I'm calling out on that one. So another sign, if you're dreaming ideal client, let's say you say to me, Tash, I really want to be speaking to this high caliber type of client. And this type of high client has now just dropped into your DMs. And instead of you going, boom, shakalaka boom, here's the link, sign me up, you freak the F out. You're like, oh my goodness. Like, I know I said I wanted to work with this high caliber client, but now she wants me. Like, am I good enough? Can I really deliver what it is that she wants? Oh my God, what if I mess up? What if she thinks it's a waste of money? Like, if you're having this freak out party, you need to work on your subconscious mind. I've been there. I have been there. And I'm not talking at the start of my business. I'm talking about when one of my first clients that was more of a high caliber client came into my DMs. She was already making multi-six, like she was hovering on the edge of 7 figures, wanting to work with me. I freaked the F out and I was like, holy Maloney, I need to go and do work on my subconscious mind. Because if I am basing what I have to offer, my service, my delivery, on how much money she's making, I wasn't feeling worthy. I was like, why is she coming to work with me? She makes more money than me, right? I need to work on subconscious mind. And this is why I share these with you, because I don't want you to think I'm coming from a place of, you're this and you need to do this. Like, I have been there. I've been doing business 6.5 years. The amount of clients that have come to me with these exact same things. Why do you think I have this data? I haven't just plucked it out of my ass. I've got this data from my own experience and from every single client that I've worked with saying to me the same thing. And I know you feel the same. I know they're going to land with you. I know you're going to be like, that was me. Oh my God, that's how I feel right now. Okay, right. I get it, Tash. I need to work on my subconscious mind. Good. When a client defaults on her payment, or a client doesn't sign up to the program that you would have bet your house on that she was going to sign up, and when she doesn't, you naturally, your default is to think it's because of you, because of your offer, because of maybe she found something else that wasn't good enough. And this is really good. One of my clients actually DM'd me yesterday when I was doing the pull out in the garden with Santiago. She was like, oh my goodness, Tash. When she first came to me, she used to get so triggered when a client would leave her offer, her program. She'd feel so triggered by it. And listen, this is business, okay? Especially in the line of work that she does, people do come and go. Some people are just not cut out for entrepreneurship. You know, it's not as easy as what people make out, like laying on a beach and just make a gazillion pound. Like, that's not how it is. So what we've done is we worked on a subconscious mind. So in order for her to not feel triggered, because when you feel someone is leaving something and you're not making it about yourself, you are not triggered. And I shared this with her. I was like, welcome to the Badass Untriggerable Club. Because I remember, listen, when you have your own business, you know you're going to relate to this. It's literally like dating someone, and then when you're in a date with them and you think it's going really good, and then they go and date your friend. And you're like, I thought this was kind of good. It's kind of like being rejected every single day by your dream guy, right? That's kind of like what it used to be like for me. And if you cannot work on your subconscious mind to become untriggerable in this, then entrepreneurship is not for you. Because there's always going to be somebody that you've worked with that finishes the program with you or their service with you and goes on to work with somebody else. Now, if I was to get triggered by every time someone came into my world and went to go and work with somebody else, I wouldn't have a business, right? I've got my biz besties are coaches, right? So there's going to be people that come into my world that then go and work with them, and vice versa. But it's because we're untriggerable and we've worked on our subconscious mind to make it not mean anything about us. I'm not a badass because you decide to go and work with somebody else. And this is where our self-worth gets so intertwined into the work that we do. So if you're feeling like that, when a client defaults in their payments, or someone comes to work with you and actually goes on to someone else, and you're thinking it's because you're not good enough, you need to work on your subconscious mind. If you have big dreams and big visions for your business, but you find yourself procrastinating and doing the kind of small little things just to kind of tick it off, or finding yourself, I'll just watch a bit of Netflix because this is me chilling. Or let's say you say to yourself, I'm not going to post today because I don't feel in alignment. It just doesn't feel good to me today. But really that's BS. It's just because you'd actually avoiding doing the work, because then you're avoiding, what if I post it out and it doesn't pop off, it doesn't go viral, I don't sell out the program, right? So then what you do is you try and distract yourself with doing something else. Trying to get that high dopamine hit straight away. Well, what if I just went and put a wash on? Doesn't sound like it's a big thing, but what if it's because you're actually trying to not do the work that you know you should be doing? Because so many people will say to me, Tash, I'm actually quite scared to do this subconscious work. And I'm like, I get it, but it's nothing to be scared of. Like, nothing to be scared of. So many people just want the easy answers in the strategy. Just give me the step-by-step strategy that's going to skyrocket my success and make me a gazillionaire, and we are good to go. And I'm like, that's not where the success lays. The success lays in actually mastering yourself. You need to do the work on yourself. And yes, you've got to front yourself, of course, but isn't that the most incredible, beautiful way to grow? That you can look at things in yourself, the light and the dark, to be able to change things, rewire things, reprogram things, so things don't just always stay the way they have always stayed. Yes, it can be challenging, but can't everything? Geez, sometimes when I'm building out a funnel, it's freaking challenging. I don't go, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to do this funnel anymore because it's challenging. I mean, welcome to entrepreneurship. It's challenging, right? It's freaking unreal, but it's also challenging. Okay, next one. If you've done the mindset work, but you didn't feel that deep shift, and you're starting to doubt if the mindset thing is maybe something that you don't actually need to work on, then it's your subconscious. Because mindset work's incredible. This is where I started my whole self-development journey. I was going through a horrendous breakup, and my sister gave me a book from Louise L. Hay, and she said, you need this. And I was like, I don't have time to read a book. I'm too busy in my victim pity party right now because my life has completely broken to a million shreds, right? And it was the best book I ever read. And that's what really started my whole journey on self-development. But it was really all mindset stuff. which I thought was the only thing. Like, I didn't understand about the brain. And this is what I teach my girls in Subconscious Coach, because I don't want to just teach you, okay, do this, do this. I want you to understand how your mind is working. I want you to understand when something comes up and you're feeling triggered, you can have the awareness and the curiosity around it rather than a freak out. Oh my God, this. Because when you understand something, it's like someone explained something to me the other day. I was listening to a podcast from a therapist and they were talking about, you know, when you're in a restaurant and let's say I'm sitting down with Michael and Santiago goes to run off and you go, Santi, come here. And he looks around. He looks around, does a cheeky little smile, and then he runs off again, right? And instantly I'm like, oh my God, he's not listening. Like, no, Santiago, you must listen. Like, come back. And I listened to this therapist on this podcast talk about it, and they said, when a child turns round, oh, it's giving me shivers. When a child turns round, sees mum and dad, sees safety, that's why the child turns around and runs again. Because it's seen, it knows it's safe. And I was like, wow. It's giving me shivers on my whole body. When I understood this, the way now I interact with Santiago, literally this has only been a week. I've been near enough 4 years into motherhood and it's just been a week since I've discovered this. It's never too late to learn, right? It's changed the game in how I interact with Santiago and how now when we go out for dinner, now I understand why he's doing what he's doing. I'm good. So can you see, when we understand something, we get it. It's like when you have a disagreement with someone and you understand why they did something. You're like, I never would have seen that. I never thought you did that because of that. I thought you did it because of this. And they go, no, it was because of this. And you're like, I get it now. It's exactly with your subconscious mind. When you can understand why you are doing what you are doing, it's an absolute game freaking changer. And I mentioned this before. Another sign is you know there's a block. You know it. You know you're doing the strategy. You know it works. You know you get your clients amazing results. But you know there's a little something that's holding you back. And you just cannot pinpoint it. The amount of clients I had come start Conscious Coach going, Tash, I know I've got a block, but I'm not sure it is. And I'm like, rolling up my sleeves and I'm like, let's get to work because this is my jam. Oh, let's get to the freaking bottom of this block. Okay, another sign you need to work on your subconscious mind is this. You want to raise your prices. You want to scale from one-on-one to maybe one-to-many in a membership or a group or a program, but you have fears of, will my audience buy from me at this price point? Will she re-sign for me? Like she signed at my one-on-one program, which was this price point. Now I'm increasing it. Will she re-sign? And you're also thinking, is my audience big enough? Is it big enough to be able to scale it to a group program, right? This is a sign you need to work on your subconscious mind. We need to shift this block out because this block is what's holding you back. It isn't how incredible your course is because that's on point. What we really need to work on is your belief around it, your belief around yourself. If you are spending more time consuming and comparing over creating, you need to work on your subconscious mind because there will be a reason. There's a reason why you are focusing on consuming other people's content. Let me just watch one more video. And you're convincing yourself it's for inspo purposes. You're like, I just need to watch one more video. Let me see what she posted today. Let me see what she's talking about because her audience is absolutely loving that. She's selling out her programs. It's really working for her. So let me just kind of do what she does. That's not what your audience needs. Your audience wants you. They want you to stand in your power. And this is what comes from actually working your subconscious mind. So that you don't need, like now I spend the majority of my day creating content for my audience. The only times really I'm going on social media is when I'm intentionally scrolling, looking at inspo, but also really kind of looking at my clients' work, right? And that's been a game changer because before I used to spend more time comparing myself to what everyone else was doing rather than spending the energy on, let me work on creating the most incredible content for my audience, okay? Another one, if you're not making 20K months because, whatever that because is, let's say you say, I'm not selling out my program because, I'm not at 20K months because, I haven't hit the 6-figure mark because, whatever that is after the because is a huge sign that you have beliefs in your subconscious mind that we need to shift. That is a huge, huge sign that your subconscious mind is trying to tell you, we need to work on this because you don't feel, it could be you don't feel deserving and worthy of making that money. You don't see how it's possible. Your subconscious mind does not see it as safe because maybe your old money story was you can't hold on to money. You have to work really hard for money. Money isn't safe. Maybe you saw your mum and dad argue about money. So then you have this limiting view on money. Maybe you saw and heard rich people are greedy. Maybe you used to look on social media when people were talking about what cars and how much money. You used to be like why are people talking about money? So then you have this view around it. Well, it's actually quite icky to sell. Who says? Do you think Pretty Little Thing or Zara are worried about blowing up your inbox today? of how much stuff they want to sell to you? No. Do you think they're bringing their money story into their business program? No. Okay, so it's the subconscious mind we need to shift. If you are stalking that said coach that you want to work with, but your beliefs are holding you back, convincing you that she's more successful and because she's making 20K, or because she has a bigger following, or because she is fill in the blank, she's smarter, she's been going longer, she's prettier, she's wears better clothes than you, whatever the BS that you want to say. Maybe it's she's more grounded, she doesn't wear shoes and she's not into labels, or the other, she's always wearing Louboutins and got a Hermes bag and that's not me. Whatever it may be, this is all the BS that you are telling yourself of why you should invest and why you should wait. And maybe I'll just invest into another strategy. Been there, done that. Convinced myself in 2022 that I needed to invest £30,000 into more strategy. When really what I need to do is deepen my relationship with myself. I needed to build my self-trust. I needed to stand in my personal power. I needed to work on my subconscious mind so that my default wasn't holy F, this isn't working out, what am I going to do? It was, I'm a winner, I'm a legend, I'm a success, like this, I'm a winner, I always get to win. And that's very different. When you learn to reprogram your mindset, when you learn to reprogram your subconscious mind, don't you want your default to be the success? Like my default now in my mind is always positive. It is like whatever goes on in my life, I just have this ability now, and I've trained this. I wasn't born like this. I've trained my mind to always see the good. It's like if I said to you, look around now and see green, like I can list so much green that I can see because I've programmed my mind to look. It's your RAS that you're working with, your reticular activating system. You've programmed it to look for the ways that you always get to win, to look for the clients, to look for the wins, to look for the breadcrumbs, to look for the money, to look for the success. Okay, and this all comes from training, rewiring your subconscious mind. It's called subconscious programming for a freaking reason. It isn't your fault that you think the way you do, but it is your choice of whether or not you choose to think the way you do or not. Because you have a choice now to go, right, Tash, just from you explaining those signs, I definitely 1,000,000% know I need to work on my subconscious mind. I mean, I could probably go on live all day giving you tons more signs of how you need to work on your subconscious mind. But if you haven't got it by now, if you haven't listened to some of these and you're like, Tash, yeah, I absolutely do, then I don't know how much more you're going to need. Maybe that's a sign in itself that you need to work on your subconscious mind. Now, if you've listened to these and you can at least identify with at least one of them, DM me the word coach. Conscious Coach is going to be your program for you. It's my absolute baby. We spend 3 months reprogramming your mindset so your default is success, not survival. It's lifetime access. So even after the program finishes after those 3 months, you will have me for life. I'm always, ask any of the girls that have gone through round 1, which would have been last January. The audios, the podcast, the content is always getting updated because I want this to be the go-to program that you pay for once and it goes throughout your whole business lifetime. So I've got girls that have come through this program that have literally got to their first 5K cash month, and I've got girls going through this, and I want this same program to go with them when they're at multi-7 figures, because this is the freaking work. So if you're like, Tash, I'm ready. I know I'm ready to be hitting those milestones. I know I'm ready to unlock my relationship with money. I know that I can be working on how deserving and worthy I am of these high cash marks. Then send me the word coach. We'll have a quick chat about where you are right now, where you want to get to, and if Conscious Coach is the program for you, which I truly and utterly believe in myself, it is. So let's freaking go. I will see you inside my DMs. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.